Hi everyone, welcome to LearnNCode. In the last session, we have seen how to access the individual characters of a string. In today's discussion, we are going to discuss what do you mean by string slicing in more detail. In the previous session also we have discussed about the topic string slicing, but there we have not used any third parameter. Just we have mentioned the start index as well as the end index. In today's discussion, we are going to use the third parameter in string slicing. After completing this string slicing with third parameter, next we are going to discuss how to implement the string comparison operators. After that, we are going to implement string concatenation and string repetition operator. Let us discuss all these details in today's session. Now we are going to see how to use third parameter in string slicing. Before moving on to the syntax as well as the examples of string slicing with third parameter, that means the parameter may be either positive third parameter or negative third parameter. So let us have the brief discussion that what do you mean by string slicing. Already we have defined that the process of accessing the range of characters in a given string, or we can say obtaining a substring of a given string, is called string slicing. Generally, the syntax of string slicing can be given as take some variable substring is equals to take any string s in square brackets, we have to mention the start index colon, end index colon. Here you have to mention the step value. This is the syntax of string slicing. But in the previous discussions, we didn't mention the step value. Just we have given the start index and end index. That means in the previous discussion, we have said that substring is equals to s, the original string, and we have mentioned the start index colon end index. This we have seen. That means, for example, if you take substring s1 is equals to original string s, and you mention the start index is 1 colon and mention the end index is 5. So how to get this s1 from the original string s? Okay, so before writing the statement s1 is equal to s of 1 colon 5, first you have to define the string original string s. Assume that s is equals to, just we are writing the string hello world. This is the string we have given for s. How it is internally represented? We know that the string is stored in the form of array. The first character is H, second one is E, L, L, O, space. Next, we are writing a W, O, R, L, and this is D. And each character is enclosed in single quotes. This already we know that. The first character is indexed by S of 0, and this is S of 1, and so on. This already we have discussed. Now, we are obtaining this substring. Here we are mentioning the starting index 1. That means we are starting from E and end index is 5. Already we discussed that this is S of 1, S of 2, S of 3, S of 4, S of 5, S of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are the indexes. When we mention the end index 5, that means we are going to get up to less than 5. That means 4. We are starting from 1 and we are going up to 4. That is E, L, L, O. We are going to get the substring E, L, L, O that is stored in the string S1. This how we have obtained the substring in the previous sessions. Here we didn't mention any step value. When you don't mention the step value here, then by default its value is 1. Though you didn't mention colon step value, by default it comes under 1. That you should remember. Just now we have taken the string that s is equals to, the string we have enclosed here is hello world. I'm going to write the string like this, s of colon, that's all. Here before the colon I'm not writing anything. After the colon, I'm not writing anything. That means start index, end index, both are not mentioned. Not mentioned here also, it is not mentioned. When these are not mentioned, by default, the start index will start from 0. When you don't mention the end index, it goes up to the end of the string. Up to the end of the string means it goes up to s of 10, not less than s of 10. If you mention the end index as 11, even though 11 does not exist, it reads the entire string up to s of 10. Please remember that when you don't mention the start index, by default, it takes 0. When you don't mention the end index, it goes up to the end of the string. Up to the last characters we are going to get. This is the difference between start index and end index when you don't mention. Now, same thing I'm going to mention here is I'm writing just 2 colons. What's the meaning of this? Writing 2 colons and writing 1 colon is same. Why same? See here, when you say S of single colon is same as S of single colon and another colon. Why? Because here we are going to mention the start index, here we are going to mention the end index. Though you didn't mention the step value here, by default it comes under 1. That means S of the single colon, S of single colon will be given as same like this. That means S of, we are not mentioning the start index, colon, we are not mentioning the end index, colon, here we are going to mention the step value, but this is by default comes under 1. No need to mention this. So S of single colon and S of double colon, both are going to give the same string, entire string we are going to get hello world. This is very, very important. Let us take one example to use positive third parameter in string slicing. The string s is equals to, in double quotes, I'm going to give the string LearnNCode. This is the string. Just draw the array representation every time so that it is very easy to understand. LEARNCode, right? This is the string we have given. And we know that this is S of 0 and S of 1, S of 2, S of 3, and S of 4. Clearly, we have to mention the indexes like this: S of 7, S of 8, S of 9. Now, take an example that S of 1 colon 4 colon 2. Here I am mentioning the starting index, end index, and also the step value. What is the meaning of this? See, when you mention like this, first we are taking the starting index 1. We are starting from this index 1. Now end index is 4. That means we are going to take up to 4 minus 1, S of 3. We are starting from S of 1 and we are moving up to S of 3. Now the third parameter is the step value. When we use the positive parameter here 2, first what you have to do is subtract 1 from 2. Subtract 1 from 2. That means 2 minus 1, we are going to get 1. What is mean by this 1? The number of characters we are going to skip while reading from S of 1 to S of 3 is 1. That means we are taking the character E first. After that, we are skipping one character A. Next, we are going to next character Okay, and end index is 4. So 4 minus 1, already we have reached the end boundary. Now what we are going to get here is, when you say S of 1 colon 4 colon 2, the answer we are going to get is ER. This is the substring we are going to obtain when you use the positive third parameter like this, 1 colon 4 colon 2. For example, if I mention S of 1 colon 4 colon 1, for example, here I am writing like this. The meaning of S of 1 colon 4 colon 1 meaning is, again we are starting from 1, right? And we are going up to 4 minus 1, S of 3, that's okay. Now the third parameter is 1. So when you take positive third parameter, first subtract 1 from 1. 1 minus 1, we are going to get 0. That means it is same as S of 1, 4. That's all. See, 0, the step value 0 indicates that we are starting from 1, okay, E. And are you going to skip any characters? No, we are going to skip 0 characters. 0 character means no character is skipped. We are going to get E, A, R. So in this case, we are going to get E, A, R. If you say S of 1 to 4, then also we are going to get E, A, R. S of 1 to 4, S of 1 to 4 colon 1, both are same. That means in the previous sessions we have said that S of colon is same as S of colon colon. Both are same. This you have to understand. So clearly understand that when you use the positive third parameter, you have to subtract 1 from the positive third parameter, and we are going to get some value. That value indicates the number of characters we are going to skip while you are moving from start index to the end index. This is about using positive third parameter. Now let us see how to use negative third parameter in string slicing. Let us take a simple example. S is equals to some string hello. The representation is like this. Character is HELLO. The indexing is done like this: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the positive indexing from left to right, and the negative indexing from right to left: -2, -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. Here I'm using the string like this, S of just I'm writing 4 to 0. I'm writing like this, 4 to 0 colon, and the negative parameter I'm writing it as -2. What is the output of this string? This is the starting index 4, that is we are starting from this, right? And the end index is 0. From here we were moving in reverse order. 4, this is 4. You move from 4 to, are you moving up to 0? No. End index -1. When we move from the reverse direction from end to beginning, the end index here is 0. Generally, we are going to subtract the end index with -1. But here we are moving not in a positive direction, we are moving in the negative direction. So that what you have to do is, for this 0, you add 1. Don't subtract 1, you add 1. That means we are getting 1. End index 0 means we are going up to 1 only. That means we are going to get the string like this: O, next L, after that E. This is the substring we are going to obtain. Very important thing you should understand that when we move from the end to start in reverse direction, the start index must be greater than the end index. and the step value is in negative. That is very, very important. Okay. Now, when we say only 4:0, we will get OLLE. But when you apply -2, what happens? That we will see. We are starting from 4 and end index is 0. That means +1, not -1. It is +1. That means you go up to E from OLLE. This we are going to access, right? But the step value here is -2. What do you mean by the -2? When the step value, as we discussed in the earlier, so the step value, for the step value we have subtracted 1 from step value. But here you have to add 1 to this step value. That means -2 plus 1. -2 plus 1, we are going to get -1. Minus represents the negative direction, but 1 indicates the number of characters that we are going to skip while moving from the end to start. You start from 0, okay, we are starting from 0, okay. Now you skip one character and you get L, and you skip another character E. That means we are going to get OL. When you mention S of 4 to 0 colon -2, and we are going to get 0L. This is a substring. If I write S of 3, S of 3 to 0, we are starting from this 3, LL, LL, E, H. But H is not there. We are going for E only. In this case, we get S of 3 to 0. But here, when you mention 3 to 0, it will not give direct answer. You have to mention negative value here. If you write -1, in this case, +1 you add, we are going to get 0. This is how the negative parameter is going to work. With this, I'm going to close the session.